favorite 16 bars has to be from the Jaffe 1 album, the intro to the album. It started like, see how I write my verses, like every 4 bars is usually like a story in itself. So I started it off with, it's seeming like I'm living off this set, uninspired as a writer, so hard to focus when most your money come from that. Mind racing time wasting, meaning I need to make it before I die. The first two bars, seeming like I'm living off this set, uninspired as a writer, so hard to focus when most of your money come from that. Basically, that's saying like when you're in the streets and you're trying to do music, you know, the street money is paying for everything, you know what I mean? And you need the streets to keep being a rapper, as far as me, you know what I mean? So it seemed like the street life was definitely overpowering my music, but I wanted my music to be number 1, but it couldn't be number 1 without the street money. It was a super complicated, like whole complicated situation. But then I went into the mind racing time. That part meant like my mind is like racing, like, oh my God, I need to get this done. And then I said mind racing, time wasting, meaning I need to make it before I die. And that's, you know, self-explanatory. And I went into, on my way to the job, did I mention that I'm a teacher? On my break, I grind, fraternizing with the reaper. That's a tricky transition. Had to switch my demeanor. Go back and hear my music on students' computer speakers. Then he goes into grading papers, but not for my class. I'm counting it, hoping there ain't no counterfeits in my stash. Taking attendance for sure, but not the type that you thinking of. I'm making sure my brother's still alive, cause these streets cold. That whole little 8 bars was just like a comparison from the streets and me being the teacher. When I say grading paper, you know, that's going through the money, trying to make sure you ain't got no counterfeits, and then taking attendance, that's calling and making sure people still, you know, alive and present. So that was a whole bunch of double entendres, you know, I just wanted to put in there. And man, I think back on that verse, man, it really meant a lot for that point in my life. And at the end I said, look up and saw a kid with his hand raised, a senior, but he been supporting me since the 10th grade. He asking what happened. I guess he thought I quit rapping. No matter what I thought, that statement let me know I was slacking. And that's a true story right there. Kid put his hand up, and he was like, can I come up to the desk? He came up to me and was like, why you stop rapping? You feel me? And I was doing my non-cussing stuff. It's part of the dilemma thing. And I was like, man, I never stopped making music, you know what I mean? I've been doing this, but it made me realize I need to go harder, because if he don't know I rap still, that's a problem. So I had to make my presence more known. But yeah, just that verse, I ain't gonna go into the end. But that whole verse, man, it was just real important at that point in my life, because it was like my real life. Everything that whole verse said was my whole life in a nutshell. So the intro to Jaffe 1, that's my favorite 16 this far in my career.
It's seeming like I'm living off this sack, uninspired as a writer, so hard to focus when most your money come from that. Mind racing time wasting, meaning I need to make it before I die. On my way to the job, did I mention that I'm a teacher? On my break, I grind, fraternizing with the reaper. That's a tricky transition, had to switch my demeanor. Go back and hear my music on students' computer speakers. Grading paper, but not for my class. I'm counting it, hoping there ain't no counterfeits in my stash. Taking attendance for sure, but not the type that you thinking no. I'm making sure my brother's still alive, cause these streets cold. Looked up and saw a kid with his hand raised, a senior, but he been supporting me since the 10th grade. He asking what happened, I guess he thought I quit rapping. No matter what I thought, that statement let me know I was slacking. Now I introduce you to Jaffe, I keep it that.
The Rolling Stone documentary. I was trying to think of things to do pertaining to some of the music on the CD, since it's called Inspired By. I'm planning on doing more, but when I heard the song Rolling Stone, I wanted to make a visual, not a music video, but a visual to show the struggle I went through. So I got to thinking, like, man, I lived in so many homes now, you know, wrote all of them down with my mom. And we came up with I think it was 22 homes in there, but I lived in more homes than that. It was just 22 by the age of 23 that the documentary showed. And if you listen to the song Rolling Stone, it talks about that, you know. They say no place feels like home. What do I do when no place feels like home? You know what I mean? So all that moving around, I had to show my struggle to the people like I always do. So that's what the Rolling Stone documentary was about. The growth from written and directed to Jaffe 2, inspired by. One thing that always rubs me the wrong way is when people say they want the old Skypp back. And I don't understand that majority of the time, because if you listen to Written and Directed, which came out in 2011, it's still the same soulful music, you know what I mean? So people may have got caught up in the Skypp Saturdays tradition and they thought that was Skypp, but that was just a freestyle series, you know. I've always been a soulful artist from the very get-go, even with my expressions that I did in 2008, 2009. So, I mean, the growth, it's not much growth. I just know I have more experience than I had in 2011. My beat selection is way different. It sounds more universal and it sounds more, you know, relatable to different audiences. Back then it was like straight backpack music, you know what I mean? Like the New York style kind of hip hops, but now it's like kind of like a J. Cole, Kendrick Lane, you know what I mean? It's more relatable to any race, and the music is a little more, you know, it's a little more universal. So I don't want to say, I'm talking about the same thing, same content, but just a different sound overall. So my sound is still maturing. I don't think I've found my sound yet, but I'm getting real close. But the growth is basically just all in the music. You know what I mean? It's still the same struggle. I'm still exposing, you know, myself to my people, the things they haven't learned about me yet. I'm still trying to get them to understand me fully so they can see where I'm coming from when I make this music. Yeah, that's the growth. The album, Jaffe 2, inspired by, first and foremost, the title Jaffe is the last name of my best friend who got murdered in 2011. His name was Dr. Ray Jaffe. And he died on the same day as Written and Directed dropped. And that was like really my best friend, like for real, not even, you know, some people like over-exaggerate over my real life best friend. And when he died, I mean, I ain't had no choice but to just live through him, you know what I mean? Because it's such a painful experience for somebody to go through. So that's how I came up with the whole term Jaffe. And Jaffe, you know, more than his last name, I turned it into a term that means just being honest and being real like he was. So that's why I say keep it Jaffe. And this is Jaffe 2. On this one, I wanted to do something different rather than just dedicate it to him. So I put the inspired by after it. And it was kind of like just a real random and off the top idea. My music is all inspired by the same things, which is personal things, personal conversations, a certain group of people. So this time I just wanted to put the names behind it, or the things behind it that inspired each song. And, you know, if you know me, then you know I like stepping outside the box. So this was just something I wanted to experiment with. And you know, it goes from track one. Track one is called Beneficial. I got a buddy who dissed me on the record. And I didn't want to diss him back, but I wanted to make a song that was inspired by his words that he said to me. You know, then it goes into track two, which is inspired by all the things people tell me about how they want the old Skypp back. And then you got track three, Abbreviated. I was talking to my guy, Lil Billy, on the phone. He was in prison, and he was telling me, you know, just keep everything short. Always keep everything short. You know, so he inspired that song and that phrase. And it goes on and on and on, you know. That's how all my music is, though. I just decided to actually tell people, show people who inspire what songs, you know what I mean? So something outside the box I wanted to try. The song Dilemma from Jaffe 2, it's track 2. And I wanted to address all the things people say about me and the old Skypp, and you know, back when I was a local commodity. And I made it start the way it started on purpose, because at the end of Beneficial, I was you know, speaking to an old friend that dissed me on the record, but at the end of that song I said I was just one call away. Dilemma comes in with a, you know, a telephone effect, and the song comes in as if I'm still talking about the other person, but it's a whole different concept, a whole different song. And you know, it starts off with the old me, like, what are you doing? Why have you changed? And I mean, basically in a nutshell, people just wanted the old Skypp back. They wanted me to rap how I rapped on the Skypp Saturdays. And Skypp Saturdays is a freestyle series I did. I started it in 2011 or 2012, one or the other. I started it back then. And you know, I just snapped on everything. It wasn't really about being soulful. It wasn't about being anything in particular at all. It was just freestyle series, you know, and I did 111 of them. So people love to hear me snap like that, but you know, that's just not me. So I think a lot of people, they just got caught onto it and they wanted to hear more of that. So when I was releasing certain music, they weren't appreciating the music because they wanted to hear the Skip Saturday skit. But yeah, Skip Saturdays had to come to an end eventually also because SoundCloud, they gave me 2 strikes. You get 3 strikes on SoundCloud for copyright infringement. I got 2 strikes for using other people's instrumentals. And a few people they'll report you. They really will report you. And they reported me, and then they told me I had 2 strikes. The 3rd strike, they'll wipe out every Skip Saturday I ever did. And that's 111 editions. So I had the option of either just stopping and leaving it at 111, or just keep going and risk getting everything deleted and losing every Skip Saturday. So I just chose to, discontinue it. But yeah, the song Dilemma, man, is super deep. And if you've been with me since day one, or even if you went back and studied what I went through from day one, you'll appreciate the music, the song a lot more, because it's like all facts. Even as far as me cussing in my music, when I met my manager, that's when I decided to stop cussing in my music, and I got a lot of flack about that because people thought that he made me do that, but that wasn't the case. He broke it down to me, and he was like, "You gotta understand, man. The songs that go platinum are the clean songs because you have to be getting radio play, and you have to all the stuff that matters is ran by the clean music." And he's like, "What's the purpose of having a dirty version and a clean version? You can just have one version." You know what I mean? And I understood that. And he was like, "Does your grandmother listen to your music?" I said, "Nah, I can't let my grandma listen to what I'm making." You feel me? So that's when I decided to clean it up, so it can be more relatable and more, more accessible and more, easy on the ears. So yeah, that's why I decided to stop cussing. It had nothing to do with him making me do anything. It was just a mature decision I made, for the brand of Skip, for what I stand for what I want to do. I want to be one of the biggest musicians ever, you know what I mean? And when you look at Michael Jackson and you look at Prince, you gotta understand why they were like that. It's because people can listen to their music and not feel offended, and not have to cover their kids' ears up. Kids can sing Michael Jackson. They not singing Gucci Mane. You might find a kid in the hood singing Gucci Mane, but you ain't find no kid in France doing that, you know what I mean? So just decisions we had to make, to become better people.
Be a 4th time sucker. I came in the game raw with no plan B, just me, but I was thumping like a stampede with 2 feet, thinking maybe I win a Grammy. We'll see. I ain't no killer, but I can be. Feel free to pull up on me at the right time. I'll be throughout the city, jumping like I might kind. You the type to sit and wait until the right time. Look up and realize you've been waiting for a lifetime. Your hunger ain't like mine. Okay. Shout out to man, he just made it to the NFL. Let that be motivation for you. Don't be scared to fail. They gon' rock with you when it's beneficial, when that's real. Now that you came up on the fortune, they won't spin the wheel. Your brother dissed me on the record, but it felt the sale. When I congratulated you, he told me LOL. I guess since I don't rock with him, I gotta beef with you. When it's no longer beneficial, that's what people do.
My name is Skypp, that's spelled SKYPP. And my album, Jaffe 2, Inspired By, is available everywhere online. That goes Tidal, Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. So check it out.
They gon' be there. They gon' love you when it's beneficial. They support you.